Hello, everybody. Today we'll be going over structured output and validation for data engineers. Okay, so the reason why structured outputs is very important. Let's break down. Let's start with the problem first. So these large language models, they return strings, right? Like you go to Gemini, you ask it. I'm gonna stick to the same example: how to cook a steak. They'll give you a full string on how to cook a steak, right? The issue is that when you're working with data pipelines, which I'm sure many of you guys are well aware of, you need very typed, validated, and structured data and return back, not just one giant string, right? Like let's say we're doing extracting clauses from a contract, which is what we will do in this video actually. You don't want just a string like, hey, here's the termination clause, here's the confidentiality clause, here's the technology upgrade clause. Like you want maybe like a JSON where like one field is termination clause with the actual text, confidentiality clause as a field with the actual text. Like you want a nice structured object, right? So that is what we're going to be going over today, how to get structured outputs when working with these large language models, okay? So the solution to that is actually Pydantic models. So Pydantic models is really just defining your target schema as a Pydantic model. So you're just creating a class object, if you want to keep it very straightforward, really. You're just creating a class object on what you want the LLM to extract, okay? So for here, and define it, right? So for this example, for a termination type, right, I define it for what cause, for convenience, is it mutual, yes or no, not specified, etc., right? Clause type, for like extracting a clause, there's a clause type, the actual text that corresponds with it, the section reference, the confidence score between 0 and 1. Again, we're just creating class objects. We're just creating classes, all of this, okay, on what data we want to extract. So it's actually very straightforward to do, and you'll see in code like how it's very easy to do all this. It's more so something to be aware of when you're working with these large language models. And the whole point of this is defining these class objects is that you can inject these class objects, these classes, in as part of your actual call to, say, Anthropic to ChatGPT. Okay, so you can force LLM outputs into type objects with these Pydantic models, okay? So there's one way to do this though, and this start with option one to forcing an LLM output into a typed object, is you actually create a prompt where you say like, hey, describe the JSON schema. So like, let me pull up the actual demo we're gonna do real quick. I literally say return your response as a valid JSON object matching this exact schema. So I'm telling it like, hey, here is the actual schema to follow, return only this JSON, nothing else. It works like 75% of the time, not gonna lie. What I will say is though, is that more often than not, sometimes these models, they'll return back an extra bracket, they'll return something will be slightly off, maybe it'll like hallucinate just one word, right? Like maybe this notes, it becomes note, right? And as a result, I'm sure if you guys have worked with code in the past, which many of you guys have, that screws up your extraction, the extraction of this object, right? So you want it in an exact format. So to really enforce it, we want to do prompt based as well. We want to include in the prompt, hey, return it in this format. But in most tools, it's called the instructor approach because I use Claude a lot, and Claude will actually define in their model like, hey, like use this actual schema, right? Like, so when we have the response model right here, right, we define the contract extraction, which is, if you go up, our class object that we defined right here, that pulled all this stuff over here. And this class object essentially, Claude now knows like, hey, we want to extract these specific entities and return it in this exact format, more importantly, when we are returning the object to the user via this API call. Okay, so all we're doing is you're doing the same thing, or just extraction equals, we're just doing the same client message.create, define the model we want, the max tokens, the temperature. The key thing that's different now is just response model, okay? And we're just defining we just put in the class that we just defined, and it will pull the actual values corresponding to it. Don't take these as like they're gonna work 100% of the time, because they do mess up at times. So it's important to still have retry logic, things like that, and ways to address these errors when they do come up, okay? Because you don't want anything to fail silently ever, which I'm sure you guys are well aware of from being data engineers, right? So let's get into the actual code that I want to go over today. So that's just a quick overview on structured outputs and how to use them with Claude. This demo will be actually going through some of that code. So we're gonna use Claude Sonnet 4.6. Here is the libraries that you need for it. So instructor, Anthropic, Pydantic to define base model, field, and validation errors. First thing we're gonna do is we're gonna define our actual schema, our target schema, okay? So this is, again, we're gonna be extracting clauses from a specific contract, all right? So what I first did was I defined a class for termination type, my apologies, right? Where it is gonna be the type of termination is if this contract has any, right? The extracted clauses that we're going to be pulling. So the type of clause, the text that corresponds with it, the section reference, if there is one, the confidence that comes with this. And again, this is everything from the last not the last slides I was just showing. And then we make the final class a contract extraction model Okay, so we're going to define parties, like so the name of all parties to the contract, the effective date, and obviously it's inheriting the base model, which we defined up here. Okay, the expiration date, termination type, termination clause, right? Liability clause, and we're just defining everything with a description of what it is so it knows what to look for as well. That's the key thing with these Pydantic models. It will read, Claude will actually read these like, okay, this is what I want to return it. This is what it should be for each of these fields. We're just defining like, hey, what should we extract in a nice clean format for the user. So governing law, the state or jurisdiction governing the contract, or the overall competence extraction nodes. So again, we're just defining the schema right here on what should be extracted when we call Claude, right? And when we print this, actually, as you can see, this is the actual just JSON dump of the JSON schema, and it prints exactly that. Okay, now, and the best part too is that if you put in invalidated values into this, so let's go to confidence, right? So let's scroll back up to confidence. Where is it? Overall confidence, we define the score to be between 0 and 1, right? If you put in a 1.5 here, we try that, it will fail, okay? So it caught an error, and similarly not, okay? So if we do it with this one will pass because it's the confidence score is between 0 and 1, right? So let's try this with an actual sample contract. So I made a sample contract with a bunch of different clauses, as you can see, right? So this is a service agreement entered January 15th, 2026 with Acme, a made-up company from Delaware, with data flow solutions from Oregon, right? So here are some clauses: scope of services, terms, payment terms, confidentiality, limitation of liability, termination, governing law. All right, so it's 2,084 characters, right? Here's the prompt I made for this, okay? So you're a contract analysis system that extracts specific clauses from commercial contracts. You return structured JSON and nothing else. So I'm still telling in the prompt, even though I have this Pydantic schema defined, I still want to tell it in the prompt just to further enforce it. That is the big thing, right? Like you can never be too careful with all this. For each clause you extract, include the exact text from the contract. Do not paraphrase. So that way it returns the exact text, right? The section reference for where it appears, a confidence score. If the clause is not present in the contract, just return null. Again, we're just reiterating everything that's already defined in the Pydantic schema, and we're returning and we're giving it the actual JSON schema in the prompt as well, okay?